We are discussing partnership in entrepreneurship. We're live on Facebook as well. Fantastic. Alright, so Valentine's Day is around the corner, guys. So if you're baying up or you're buying all of these nice things, that's great. But is it going to pan out in the future? We are here to speak to a couple people who have bayed up some time back and seem to be making it work when it comes to, you know, life overall, partnership, and especially entrepreneurship. So Samantha, tell us a little bit about what it is that you do, and then Darren will hear from you.
Sure, no problem.
Samantha.
Well, I would consider myself Wonder Woman because I do everything.
Okay.
I kid. I consider myself a working mom and wife. When we got married, we had kids 2 years later. So I was thrown full force into just being a homemaker, kids, taking care of him, feeding him. And so we have 2 boys, Jude and Josiah. They're 2 and 3. So that's what I do. I'm a mom, I take care of the house, and then I recently started my catering company in December. And I help him with his photography company, which I'm a partner in as well.
Woo, okay. All right.
I juggle a lot.
That is a lot on your plate. What about you, Darren?
Okay, well,
she helps you with photography, but let's start with photography there.
All right, so I'm definitely consider myself an entrepreneur. Photography is just how I express it, but I do way more than photography.
What is this way more?
You want to go right into it?
Let's go right into it before we take 2 steps back and talk about what you guys met.
So I started my entrepreneurship journey many years ago. From I was in high school, I used to make sandwiches and sell them to the guys at school, and I'd take their orders and go back and make them. So I've always had it in me to be an entrepreneur. I went to business school at Howard. I didn't continue though, but all throughout my life I've always had business acumen. So I used to save money in my piggy bank from I was a baby all the way up. But I was originally in music, so I had a rap group called
Wow. Okay.
Wait till you hear the name.
Okay. Waiting for it.
The name of the rap group was Ex-Cons Mafia.
And he throws up gang signs.
That's the sign. That was the sign, the official sign. Ex-Cons Mafia.
Oh wow. Okay. We're a little bit happy that that's not where we are, but okay.
Yeah, so I mean, back then it was still entrepreneurial in my mindset. So now I'm doing photography, but I also do real estate. I have a small real estate portfolio that I'm developing. And I do the photography, and I also have a multimedia production company. Okay. So I've always had that as how I approach things, you know what I mean? Okay.
Wow, that's a lot between the 2 of you. Yeah. Samantha, did you ever find that you were entrepreneurial to begin with?
No. No. I have a friend from high school, her name is Nicolay. She would always say, I can never sell anything. She's a lawyer now. Right. So she doesn't sell anything, but I was like, I totally agree with her. Like, I just found it so hard to put yourself out there. But that's what entrepreneurs do. Like, you really have to kind of have no shame. Like, you just have kind of
no shame.
Yeah, you just kind of have to just be bold, sell yourself, sell your product and your brand. And so that was not me. I grew up different from him. I did not have a piggy bank.
Which kid doesn't have a piggy bank?
I probably had one sometime, but it's not something I grew up with. Like set in me, like just, if you hear a story of how we grew up, you would see. Okay. I wanted to be a doctor growing up. Okay. I just love fixing people and giving people medicine. But then that changed when I discovered that I love food and I just love cooking and eating food. And so no, I didn't consider myself to be entrepreneurial at all. So it's something I'm learning now still and from him.
Okay, so I wanted to hop in on that when you said that it's something you're learning. So before we even get to where you are now, let's start at almost the beginning. I know both of you from UTech, from Club Billionaire.
Even that, I was like, how do I want to join a company Club Billionaire? That just sounds so
unnecessary, like extra, right? So we know each other from Club Billionaire. But clearly you guys have known each other from before that. Right. Did Darren ever show any signs of being super entrepreneurial minded, and what impact did that have on you, if any?
Well, when we were dating, not so much, because we didn't really talk a lot about business at that point. But when we both went to UTech, And soon after his father died, he mentioned that we should just do the competition, especially in honor of his dad, you know, just kind of go after it. And I was just like, I don't want to do this. But he really kind of spearheaded the project and really pushed me to set up our business was
Mango Berry.
Small enterprise.
Right.
A small enterprise, like a tuck shop.
Yeah.
And so I was a chef and he was the mastermind. And so he was just like pushing me. I did not want to do it, but he was just like, no matter what, no matter if, you know, crisis is going on, we're going to do this, especially in honor of my dad. And I think even that aspect of an entrepreneur, like just going no matter what happens, just stay focused. So even that was an example to me, like just pushing through, you know, sticking to the goal, no matter what happens.
It's called OCD.
Yeah.
It's called OCD.
So,
I can't stop.
So that was one example.
Yeah.
From then I started seeing that entrepreneurial spirit in him, just the drive and the go-getting. And I was always kind of like timid and, you know, don't take risks, you know, and just, So that was like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, that's 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, 7 years, like 2 kids, 1 marriage, great. So how has that, maintaining that balance been? How did you get used to, Darren, how did you get used to dealing with Samantha? Samantha is clearly the polar opposite in terms of drive and sort of that energy for entrepreneurship. How did that work for you?
It's gonna be personal now.
I mean, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for.
It's a challenge in the sense that when the two of us are not in sync, it makes it difficult for the person who is kind of leading the way to make as much progress, because you have to be trying to bring everybody up to the same level, help them change their mindset, help them to see the vision, help them to kind of buy into the whole philosophy of being an entrepreneur, and it takes a lot of time, right? So at first it started out with her kind of more supporting and encouraging and kind of
go on photo shoots with him, carry the camera roll,
So that's where it started from. But I would always be saying to her, hey, you know, you really should continue Mango Berry, because I really believed in Mango Berry, and people would see us on the road and they'd stop us and they'd be like, Mango Berry, when are you coming back to UTech? Because the vision was to continue it at the UTech on the campus itself.
Right.
So that was always a mindset, but she just never bought into it. She just never saw herself doing it. And then I was like, all right, we're going to get a little place. There was a place on Trafalgar. You know, the small business, the Marcus Garvey complex. Right at the corner of the Musgrave. Yeah, so they had a shop there that was closing and moving to a different location. And I said, it's perfect opportunity right now. Let's jump into it. Let's do Mango Berry.
Push it.
Let's make it happen. And she was just like, nah.
Sorry.
She wanted to go and work for somebody else.
Okay.
Like, so when I'm telling you, like, total polar opposite in mindset, I was saying, let's do this, let's be our own boss, and she was saying, no, I'm not ready, I just want to work for somebody else. You remember? She said those exact words, I just want to work for somebody else.
So what was that experience like for you, Samantha, working for another individual to, you know, even get you to this point?
I've done a couple of stints at different places. I did Traction Records, Peter Grill, and then I was called to lead a kitchen for this new business in New Kingston, MK Deli. So I think that was 2014, a little after Josiah was born. And I think by then I had started to kind of come up to my shell a little bit. The person that referred me, she was just like adamant, like, you'll be great, don't worry, you can do this. And I was like, I don't know, I'm always second guessing myself. But I've always kind of been called into leadership opportunities, even like against my will, because I'm always thinking I'm not good enough, I'm not, you know, I can't do this. But I did it, and I spent 2 years there. It was a very interesting experience. Definitely think I saw my potential and where I needed to grow, and my value, because they, you know, I had a good following there, and I think the owner of at the time was pleased with my work, even though it did not survive the business. I think, it was a good experience for me to see what I was capable of doing and where I need to grow in. So I think that 2014 was kind of the start of my entrepreneurship you know, blossoming.
Coming out of your
Right.
shell. How did you feel about that, Darren? Seeing her take that step, and the business closed down, but seeing that change, what was that like for you?
It was hard for you at first.
Yeah, it was a little hard at first because the change was sudden. So she went from being stay-at-home mom, and because I ran the business from home, my photography from home, the kids were at home. There was a sudden, it was a sudden change. So at first I was like,
So that's the issue. That's where the balancing comes in.
Yeah,
because like your wife and she's like she likes to cook.
Yeah.
And
so you want her. I really want her to go forward and push and kind of experiment and see where she was at in her career. But then I was like, oh, but the kids, who can take care of the kids? So, but we worked it out. We got someone to stay at home with my son, stay with him during the days, and I would work in my office. So it worked out. She was at work, and she, I mean, I know how she is. I know how she is. She can cook like crazy, right? So I know once she gets in the kitchen, like that's all that she really needs to sell herself. People bought into her. They love her work. They love her food. And they were begging her to stay after the first time. She said she was going to resign.
Because I got pregnant again.
Yeah, because
right. So I had to go.
So she said, she was going to resign. But then after that, like they were like, please come back.
So
it was good. No, to be honest with you, it was very inspiring because I got to see her, and I would help her and give her insight. But I got to see her living out her potential, like what I know from a long time, like even before I knew she could do it, like I wanted her to see that she could do it, and that was a perfect opportunity.
Fantastic. Oh, the warm fuzzies! The warm fuzzies. Okay, so clearly you have two little boys. We can't hear them at the moment, but they're very, very active and
very rambunctious.
Very rambunctious. How is it that you guys how do you even find the time to do all of the things that you're doing, and being able to manage them, and giving them the attention that I'm sure you want to give them on a daily basis? Samantha? Oh well, Darren looked like you wanted to hop in there.
I thought about something. I was wondering, when do we really find the time? To be honest with you, like that's one of the advantages of being an entrepreneur, is you do get a lot more flexibility in your time. So there are hours when we can just say we're just gonna go to the beach, we're just gonna take them to the park, we're gonna take them to the game arcade. Like over summer, we just spent 2 weeks with them before they went to school, and we just treated them and went all over Jamaica.
Oh, nice.
So that's one of the advantages of being an entrepreneur. But I think, to be honest with you, having kids it slows you down.
Caveat,
it slows you
being
down.
Being married is like, okay.
Being married, oh man.
You can give married and spend 12 hours over the laptop setting up the business. But then kids
because they need their attention, and everything.
They'll fight and kill themselves, and they'll burn down the house. They have my son's sword is the lighter. Like that's what the the long lighter, the stove lighter.
Right.
That's his sword. Yeah.
Oh, so has he got? Okay.
There's a lock on it.
Yeah, we'll put
there's a lock on the
thing.
Jeez. Okay, so we're learning tons of lessons. If you ain't got no kids and you're preparing to be an entrepreneur,
it's tough.
It's very challenging.
Like it.
Very challenging.
It gets intense times 100.
It gets a lock with
and they get sick. Like our son had meningitis 3 weeks ago, and so I had to just stop everything and just be with him on the ward for 10 days.
Okay,
12 days.
Before we even talk about that, let me remind everybody we are here with Samantha and Darren George. They are a happily married couple with 2 kids. And they are both full-time entrepreneurs. So we're here talking about how important it is for you to pick the right or the best partner in a particular situation when it comes to pursuing entrepreneurship. So you said recently your son got sick, and question, so how do you manage a situation where a client needs something, right, and running a business and having something so personal and so close to home? How is it that, what did you do in order to manage that kind of situation?
Well, we have a church family, and so I really relied on them a lot. Just kind of inform people, just let people know what's going on, staying connected. So our friends came to the hospital and visited, brought us lunch. That was really difficult for us to kind of just keep like well fed. You know, just being there with Jude. It really was really helpful to have people come and just bring us lunch.
Yeah.
Darren slept there all night, so he was tired all the time because you know, you're sleeping on a chair. So just having people come and bring lunch, that really takes the load off. So just having a network of people that you're close to and trust helps a whole lot.
Not with relieving.
Definitely.
Yeah, but at the very real low, like Samantha is doing a massive private dining experience for Valentine's Day.
That we're gonna give you guys time to plug your businesses, but that's coming up.
The challenge of my son being sick, because he went in with meningitis, he came out with pneumonia, and now he has laryngitis. Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a time
really
when
intense.
I was like asking her, "Are you sure you don't want to postpone this dinner?" Because the time and effort it's going to take to devote to him to get him back to full health was going to take a lot. I knew it was going to take a lot, you know, and then it would have fallen a lot on me because she would be running her team. You understand? So there are always these tug of wars, not necessarily in terms of conflict between us, but like how do we manage all these sudden changes, these unexpected changes, you know what I mean? For my business, like I really had to get honest with my clients, understanding this is what's happening. So one of my clients, they really understood because they lost a family member recently, so they knew what it was like when you have to really take care of your kids, you know. So, and they're also, I do mostly weddings, so a lot of them are getting married and they understand the value of family. Right? So they do understand that, but to be honest with you, it's like, it's challenging on my level of customer service because I pride myself on being able to deliver quickly, and then something like this happens and you get set back 3 weeks. You know, what do you do in a situation like that? I really had to just call some people in and just say, hey, I need some help. Just shell out some money that I never really planned on spending, and just kind of get some things done a lot quicker. It's not necessarily what I'd wanted to do, but it was what I had to do to kind of show and prove that I value my clients a lot, even despite the situation.
So I would say definitely having a network of people, communication. So always communicate with your clients and having backup plans.
Backup plans.
Because we're human.
Yeah.
You know, until we have a big corporation.
Right.
Things happen.
Yeah.
So, on the idea of communication, you're in a relationship here. So how important is it? I mean, outside of the fact that you're in a relationship and what have you, communicating your own personal goals and dreams and visions for the businesses that you have, how important is that for the both of you? And how is it that you are able to just manage? I mean, both of you clearly, you're both aiming towards a common goal, but working on two different businesses, you may be tugged in different directions. How is it that you maintain that balance between prioritizing what you both want?
I think we're involved. Both of us are involved in what each of us are doing.
Okay.
To some extent, not as much as I would like, but you know, it's just because we're doing different businesses, like you said. She's doing catering and I'm doing photography, so the worlds, they intersect, but they're not intertwined, you know. So we just came off of a planning retreat in January, where we sat down and we strategized the next 3 years of our business.
Wow.
So I know what she's doing, she knows what I'm doing, right? So we're both on the same page as far as that goes. So anything that she's doing now is like I'm fully supporting her because I want her business to succeed, you know what I mean? And then we always, we live in the same house, we're married, so it's like, it's not hard for us to communicate and talk and bounce ideas off of each other. I help her with her designs, I help her with her videos,
He's
I help her.
guy.
So I teach her, I
taught
taught her how to edit
my own videos. Using Premiere.
So I think communication is absolutely essential.
So like we try to do maybe at least one meeting a month.
You do a formal business
we
go to like Toyota Cafe and just sit down.
I would say this is what's been happening over the past month. This is where we should have been or where we need to be. So we bounce a lot of ideas off each other. Because she's still a part owner of my business, our business, right? So we have to bounce a lot of ideas. We take a lot of trajectory and we plan out and map out a lot of things together. And then
I go on some of your shoots if I'm free.
Right.
And where my business is at is very like grassroots, like it's
just
baby. So and he's a lot more advanced than I am. Like I don't even have a website yet, you know, for instance. So I'm doing it very organically right now, not putting too much pressure on myself.
Okay. A question had and then I wanted to ask about conflict. Do you guys, well, you can't possibly agree on everything. How do you deal with conflict?
I call my friends.
I was about to say that. I'm about to say that.
Call your friends.
Yeah, I'm a
on
talker.
WhatsApp, everything.
I WhatsApp my friends every day. I have my support girls.
Your support team. Do we have any questions or comments, Gary? None yet. Okay, cool. So WhatsApp, you message everybody and you.
Yeah, I vent a lot.
Okay, you vent. What about you, Darren?
Oh boy, I go running. I go jogging. Yeah.
But how do you guys eventually work out the conflict? Like, what advice would you give to couples that are thinking of working together and anticipating conflict because of different personalities? What
well, we always
advice?
we strive to have like people in our lives. It's not perfect. I don't think we're at where we need to be, but that's something that we believe in and we strive towards. It's just having different couples in our lives that are mature and they've kind of gone the road. So you just link up with them once or twice a month and you just kind of just hash through different things that's going on in your life. Like, just get candid. It's like friend therapy. You can go to your friends and they just hear you talk and so you have a mediator. Essentially, there is professional counseling as well that you can do, which we believe in a lot. We've done it and we see the benefit of counseling.
Professional counseling.
It's challenging to answer that question. I'll be honest, because it's like the conflict that we have is not very deep conflict. About business, and I think the reason why that is we're unified. I think so. I think having that as a starting point, being unified in what you're trying to do, whether it is one person's business or both of us have separate business, it doesn't matter. Once you're unified in a goal and you share that common goal, it makes conflict less harsh, less it lessens it. It just makes it easier to deal with because we're both trying to accomplish the same thing. And then I think also having I guess you could call it a chain of command, I don't know, maybe somebody who has a last say. So when it comes to her cooking, we might have a conflict on how, because I know a little bit about cooking.
Yes, he cooks very well.
Okay.
So, but at the same time, it's her business, so she gets the last say in how she operates her cooking. And when it comes to photography and things like that, my business, I'm primarily operating the business, I still have the last say in certain things. So having a very clear set of authority, I guess you could say. Whoever has the last decision. Once you have that clear, once you're unified, I don't really see conflict as being an issue, to be honest with you.
What do you mean? You answer the question. One way that you could do
it's
to have clear definition of
clear
roles.
roles.
Okay, when it comes to the business, of
clear
course,
roles.
You said a community. Of people that you can lean on, mature couples, and what was the third thing? Professional counseling.
Right.
All right, that's really.
And also being unified in your goal.
Being clear and unified in the goal that you both are, that you're working towards in each business and together as well. Fantastic advice. We have here a question from Mr. Roper, who asks, in terms of budgeting and finance, how does having kids affect your budgeting for your business?
Oh, we're just laughing, like we're driving to get the boys. And what's happening again?
I don't remember, but we're like
talking about our friends that was traveling the world, and we're we're like, wow, if we didn't have kids, like we could totally do that. We could have.
We'd be millionaires.
Which is that now. So how do you manage that?
Man. Well, we have an app.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we have an app. I'm primarily doing budgeting.
Yeah, he's the financier.
We have an app that we use. It carries it on our phone. It's installed on our computer.
What's the name of the application?
The application is called You Need a Budget.
You Need a Budget?
YNAB.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So it's
paid Android?
Android, iPhone, phone, and a web app.
Okay,
so
nice.
It's there, it's everywhere. We use the Profit First system. If anybody does not know what Profit First is, you need to go and read that book by Mike McCallowitz or something like that. We use that system where we divide all of our revenue according to percentages. and we assign a percentage to everything.
Okay.
So our kids get a percentage that we assign to them. Their schooling, everything that falls in the schools, uniform, food, everything goes in that account, and it never goes to anything but that account.
Okay.
So
we have an account for that and a card.
You
for that.
literally have an account and a card.
Yeah, it's
and
separate.
a card separate. So we have like 6 or 7 bank accounts with 6 cards.
Yep.
Wow.
No
Saving
joke.
base. That helped
Yeah.
me because I was not getting this whole budgeting thing.
Yeah. So we apply it in our business, and we apply it in our personal life. That whole profit first system. So once you set aside that money, that's just theirs. No matter what else is
you
left,
don't touch it.
you don't touch it. You have to make your business run and survive on what your business generates. And you have to pay yourself, and then you have to divide up that money according to your percentages. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's challenging, I'll be honest with you, because a lot of the money, like when you see those school fees,
Woo! School fees are real, guys.
And medical bills.
And medical bills, yeah.
Yeah, it's a real
It is
thing.
real.
Steven said, "Wow." My sentiments as well, Steven. Wow. That sounds like quite a bit of planning.
You know, you always hear parents that saying that says kids are expensive.
Yeah.
You don't know it until you experience it. Like, you always hear people say it, but it's just like until you have kids and see just how much money it takes to raise them.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It definitely slows things. It definitely slows things down. If you don't win a lotto or something. I'm kidding, but yeah.
You've just been honest here, you know. Yeah. Kids are expensive, ladies and gentlemen. So if you don't have any right now, please start saving with YNAB. All right. So let's take it back a little bit in terms of trying to understand or give advice about selection of our partner. So a lot of people are not in the situation that you're in, where you're married and what have you, and they're looking for someone, or maybe they're even currently dating somebody. So from you guys, what are the good things and what are the not so good things?
Yeah.
Maybe not in each other, like in general. The things the flashing lights that you should look out for.
It's life or death, I think. Like I won't go as far as life or death, but who you marry or who you stay with for the rest of your life will alter the entire course of your future. Right? So it's very difficult to say you're gonna choose who you think is best for you because you don't know what is gonna happen in your life.
How do you know?
You don't know. That's the challenge. Like
Right.
there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen, and that's when you're gonna see the type of person that you're married. Like there's things you can do behind the scenes, like you can check out how their family was, see like how they're raised there. If they have siblings, see how they came out, like the values that
research.
Stop.
Whatever you need to.
But like to be honest, like before I got married, I sat down with a pen and a paper and I wrote down all of the things that are like valuable, like things that are important to me, and I said, you know, does Samantha fit in any of these colors?
Hold on, you did a wait. Let us clarify that. You did a pro and con.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
This is rest of your life stuff, man. It's
Okay.
like it makes a major difference because a lot of the things that happened after I got married, like my father dying, family problems like within my family, and you know how she grew up, the kind of lifestyle that she had. I saw a lot of the things that happened. I felt like it was God's timing. Like it could have only. I don't think if I married somebody else, like my life would have been as happy as it is now.
Aww.
You understand? Like I think. So I kind of got lucky, you know what I mean? Like, but it could have turned out a lot of other ways. It's like seriously, but you know, so you just really don't know. Like she could have been a total like, you know, flop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, you're not a flop, Samantha.
Like, so you know, you just don't know. Like
I think you get a little, you get information, but especially if you're like not living with a person for years before you marry, because we weren't doing that. We were dating, live separate. We weren't, you know, cohabiting or anything like that. So you kind of, if you're in that situation, that kind of dating relationship, you kind of just have to go with what you have. You don't know the person fully, and you kind of go in faith.
But
What are the warning signs though? You did the pros and cons clearly.
Well, okay, like he didn't know. Like he makes this joke all the time. I say, she tricked me. I didn't know that she loves spend money. when we were dating,
Yes.
she would say, "Oh, Darren, I would eat bread and butter."
Yeah.
I think I made some comments sometime years
said,
ago.
if you ever come down to it,
About
I
me.
eat bread and butter. You don't have
Yes,
to worry
You
about
don't
money.
do bread and butter, do you?
No, but I do.
You do
Bread and
no.
butter
You
is very
do.
delicious.
No, alright, she
You
does bread
do
and butter.
French bread,
but
the French bread, and the fresh cream.
Exactly. Whipped butter.
Whipped
from
butter.
Anchor Butter.
Yeah, I love apple butter.
It's no
Yeah,
country
that's-
crack in my house. She didn't tell me those things.
Right, so he was saying, I didn't know that, you were like this.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was just being me then. I was 18, young. I was just like, I wasn't, having any deep conversations
Yeah.
per se.
Mm.
But like, you kind of go with what you have, and then I guess more importantly, look at the values
Okay.
and the character. If the person have noteworthy characteristics and values,
Yeah.
even with their flaws, you can work through it. It's what you do.
How
In
they
your
treat
marriage,
how they
'cause-
treat other persons.
How they treat other people.
That was one of the major things that stood out to me about her. Their spending habits.
That you didn't know about.
That I didn't
But
know
I
about.
didn't have the money to spend.
Now you got the money. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
The family life. I think like that one. My parents and you hear old time people talk about like your family, birds of a feather flock together, things like that. But you don't really understand or grasp the relevance of it. But I think that was one of the things because she has a really awesome family.
Oh.
So I grew up. Himbo grew up. We dated and I was intertwined with her family, so I saw what they were like. So I knew like she came from somewhere solid. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. So I guess that's not really warning signs, but like things to look
out for.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess if you pick it up that a person is, especially in terms of entrepreneurship, if the one person is an entrepreneurial and you're seeing that person that you're dating is
not.
their lifestyle is very
Right.
contrary to what you believe in, then I mean,
Yeah.
there's definitely premarital counseling. We believe in that.
Yeah. we
Kind of
did that.
hash through the different aspects of your life.
Yeah. We
And
did
if it's
that.
something that you can't, it's a deal breaker, then don't go forward with it. Because
Yeah,
you're gonna have to live with it forever. So
a lot of people do get kind of so involved in the relationship that
Right.
they don't, when they see the warning signs, they're so committed that it's hard for them to back out. You know what I mean? So it gets a little challenging, but I think premarital counseling is a very good strategy.
Okay.
Right? You have professionals that do it that have nothing to do with religion or anything. It's just the idea of how do you work with somebody who is totally opposite from you.
And apparently it can be done. Like, you can actually, because it's basically really boils down to what you do.
Right,
And understanding, because this thing called The Flag Page
Right.
by Mark Gungo.
That's a.
He's a marital counselor.
Yeah.
Okay.
His theory is that any marriage
Any
can
marriage
be saved.
can work. Any marriage
Any
can
marriage
work.
can
Any
work.
You just have to
marriage can work.
understand the different
Yeah, personality
personality.
types,
Yeah.
how to interact with them.
And once
yeah.
you understand it, there are things you can do to adjust and, meet their needs and vice versa.
Right.
Make it work.
You just
All
have to
right.
work.
I think we have a question from Instagram.
We have a comment.
We have a
We
comment.
have a comment from Randy.
Hi, Randy.
He's saying family history is important.
Yeah.
It doesn't always dictate who the person is or will turn out to be, but it can be a good indicator.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it looks like
Definitely.
we needed to have you here giving relationship advice, Randy. Thank you so much for that comment. That made a whole lot of sense. So let's get back to the business of everything.
Right.
So tell us again a little bit about, you said you tried the whole working for people thing and you decided to start this grassroots business. So tell us a little bit more about your grassroots business. Party of 10, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she lit up like a bulb.
I've always, growing up, just had this vision of me cooking for people on a beach somewhere. And everybody just laughing and just loving my food and just happy time. And I was like, since I got married and going through the whole process of growing as a, changing that mindset, because he was always giving me articles about how to budget and stuff, and I was just like, not having it. And then I started try to read books, a lot of books, just to hear what experts are saying, get advice, and just grow as a person. And this book landed in my lap last November called The Magic of Thinking Big. I don't know if you've heard
I
of
think
that
I've heard of that before. I think I may have read
Yeah,
it sometime back too.
the girl, Darren was meeting with a girl to design his logo, and she had a book with her. And so she was asking questions about his business and background and stuff, and then we were just talking about different mind blocks that we're having. And she was like, I think you need to read this book to Darren. And then Darren started reading, he was like, I know this already, and he gave it to me. And so I read the book, and trust me, I tell you, that book changed my life, literally. Like, after reading that book, I went and registered a business name like 2 days after.
Wow.
Reading that book. Hands down, one of the best books I've ever read. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be. So, it just kind of instilled in me that I just need to just think big, and it's not bad. It's not a bad thing to think big and dream big, and even though it's scary, that's when you should do it and just go after it. So I've always wanted to do this. Darren was like, babe, if you're not working, you need to do something. You know?
Kids gotta eat. The percentage has to go into the
what's happening? So I was getting that, but I just always having these mind blocks, and just not thinking that I could do it. And then so I read this book, and just this other book I read, Start With Why by Simon Sinek. It's a good one too. But then that book just kind of just did it, and I registered a business name and did my plan, start writing down ideas, and start writing menus and stuff. And so yeah, I did it, and then I registered it in November, like end of November.
Yeah.
And then my other friend said, you need to get ready for the Christmas season because that's going to be very busy.
Right.
So I went to her and got advice, and so I was like, okay, I'm doing it. And so I did a menu and Darren helped me do a little thing on
a website,
like a mock website.
Yeah.
And you set
shot
up the
a video
Instagram and the video, and so
it was like an overnight
But
thing.
those who don't know though, exactly what do you do,
Oh,
Samantha?
The business is called Party of 10 Catering, and the idea is surrounded on cooking international cuisine. So it's fusion cuisine. I love cooking Asian food, so I do a lot of that. I season pretty heavily. I love Asian, I love Japanese cuisine, and so it's Party of 10, and I cook for small groups because my kitchen size is pretty small.
Okay, so people actually come to your house and eat you.
I do events. The plan is to do small events at my house.
Okay.
So Valentine's Day is coming up. I'm hosting a private dinner at my house.
Okay.
And
do we have any spaces? Are you booked out?
I'm pretty much booked out.
Okay.
Yeah, I was hoping for 20 couples, but I have 14, and I think we're okay with that for a start. So yeah, I want to do private events. I do.
And she does catering
for small events, bridal shows, baby shows. So that's kind of my focus and my brand is to cook for small groups and just focus on giving quality.
So what can people expect for Valentine's Day? And if I wanted to find Bay somewhere and pop up, can people still register for the Valentine's dinner, or is that it?
Yeah, we can do one. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a logistics.
He's like, yeah. He just went, yeah. We can have more people. All right. So if somebody wanted to register, where would they find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Chef Samantha George. I have a Facebook page called Party of 10 Catering. Nice. And yeah, my information is there, my number, my email. Email me, call me, I answer.
Yeah. She actually does.
Yes.
Darren, tell us about Darlington Jones photographer. Darlington Jones, where did that name even come from?
Yeah, tell me the name.
Okay. This is the first and last time I'm ever gonna tell anybody this, okay?
So do it to the camera so that we can have it on camera. So we'll never have to ask
you again. It's only because it's you,
yes,
Rachel.
Me.
Alright.
Me.
Okay, my father's name, his moniker was Darlington, okay?
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you how.
Okay.
If you invite me back, I'll tell you how.
Okay.
How he came up with that name. But his moniker was Darlington, right? And so when my father was an amateur photographer, he had his camera. He had a film camera back in the days, and then he got a digital camera. I grew up with him taking photographs. So we have a long history of photos. One of our famous family photos, my father took that photo. I grew up around it, but like I said, I was never interested in photography. I grew up with music, so that was my passion. Yeah. So when my father died, one of the ways that I connected with his memory was to take up his camera and just start taking pictures. And it's something that I found out that I was naturally good at. I guess something transmuted over the years of seeing his work. And he taught me how to use that camera too. So I just started taking photos just to connect with him and to get, just to get used to not being around, you know what I mean? And then I started doing my friend's wedding. And I
they
went
trusted
there.
you to do their wedding like that?
Well, they were broke, so
like best friends ever. Both ways.
Yo, just take some photos, man. But so that's really how I got started. I just went to my friend's wedding and took photos for him, but I found like I was really good at capturing the moment as it happened, really good at framing things, getting angles, things like that. I shot an auto. I didn't even know how to use a camera. But
auto is fine.
Yeah, I just did it on auto and gave him the shots, and I was like, I really love the experience of a wedding, of the moment happening live, the experience of just seeing somebody just being in love and then giving them the photos, and it's like, wow, that
all
experience of wow, and it's like, to them it means so much, and so that's why I came up with the name Darlington Jones, because I named it after my father. And what I believe is that, and what I try and help my clients do, is to relive their epic legacy. That's my slogan. I want to help people to understand, like, what we're doing is more than just taking photographs of a day. It's part of their legacy, their family journey. Whatever happened before happened on that day, and then what's going to happen to come. Like, a marriage is like a super important event. It's pivotal. It's like something that's going to change the rest of your life. So, I'm trying to help them to relive that legacy by capturing the moments as it happened, presenting it in the best way possible. So I do prints, I do wall art, I do these gorgeous albums that people love. I do what else? Canvases. I do books. I do cards.
You do everything. You do everything, Darren.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And he's good at videography as well.
Yeah, and I do the videos for them too. So we do short films and we set it to the music that they love. It's really nice. It's nice and romantic, and people love it.
He's very good.
Yeah.
So natural talent just working out for the both of you and making the most of it. That's fantastic. So on the last closing notes of legacy, you have two little ones following up. Do you see any entrepreneurial spirit in them yet? Would you want them to follow along the path that you guys are setting? Or if they turn up and do a Samantha, I just want to work for somebody. How would you feel about that?
Boy, to be honest with you, like, entrepreneurship is very hard. I don't know if it's the Jamaican context. I kind of feel like it might be the Jamaican context, but it's very challenging.
Yeah, you get lots of setbacks.
There's a lot of setbacks. So I, to be honest with you, I wouldn't dissuade them from going the traditional route of going to school, getting a PhD, working for somebody else. Because, to be honest, there's a lot of advantages of working a 9 to 5. You get structure, you get a regular salary. You can still do a lot with that. If you're smart, you can still invest that money and get a lot from your job, and eventually get to the point where you can leave that and do something else
that you love.
So I wouldn't dissuade them from doing it, but to be honest, like, I see them right now, and they're very creative people. Like, they're very creative. My first one is very musical. The second one is very active.
He's very good linguistically.
Yeah, he's very good linguistically. He's dramatic, and the second one is very active.
Fighting.
Yes.
Another band.
Chopping up things. He's jumping off of
Climbing
stuff.
walls.
So I see a lot of creativity in them. So I really think, like, based on what they see us and the life they see us living, that they're probably gonna go down there. And then the advantage of us being entrepreneurs is that we are going to teach them from young. Like, my son's birthday is coming up. He's going to get a piggy bank, 4 years old.
Thank you.
Thank
you. So that's something we've been talking about for a very long time. Like, teach them the value of saving, how to invest, how to spend your money, what to spend it on, things like that, how to reap. So you can reap in the future, not just spend it all on buying candy. So we're going to teach them everything that we know, because we're really first generation entrepreneurs.
Okay.
To some extent. Her mom was a caterer too, and she is entrepreneurial minded. But for the most part, like, my parents, grandparents,
they're professionals,
teachers,
doctors.
They're not really entrepreneurs,
right?
So I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest with you. Like, passing on what we know, I feel like they're gonna do more than we are doing in this generation.
So so exciting and a fantastic note on which to end. Because, I mean, we've burnt through an hour already, guys. Yeah. Darren was over here. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Samantha and Darren George, the Georges, who are, you know, successfully going through life being entrepreneurs and being married with 2 kids and all of this excitement. So thank you guys for joining us, and thank you guys for taking the time to join us. And see you guys again in another 2 weeks.
You're gonna have to invite us for part 2.
Part 2.
Barely even scratch the surface.
Part 2. All right, we'll work that out. But and he was the nervous one. Thank you so much, guys, and see you next time.